Good morning, friends. I'm kind of teary-eyed here in my meditation. My path or yoga is the yoga of devotion, of love. That's so real to me. It's just how it is. We don't choose a path with our mind. A path chooses us, and it walks us. It walks us. So it's a little bit iffy turning the camera on at this point, but what the heck. Something just came to me, and that is I'm forever engaged, it seems, in sharing how, in order to enter what I call heart, or the now here moment, we need to go in naked. We need to let everything drop from us. Maybe we could even call this heart well, I don't know that it's the void. To me, the void is just void. And heart, to me, is more of a portal to everything. Quite literally everything. I find all of cosmos and everything, all of the gods and goddesses and universes and multiplicities of dimensions. I find everything within. They say it's all fractal, and so that would mean it's all within an atom as well. Any atom. The atom at the end of a strand of hair contains it all. But I find it's very accessible through heart. I haven't yet had the experience of entering the universe via the portal of the atom. No doubt it will come. Anything is possible. You know, that's my song. Anything is possible. And it's a life changer. It's a life changer because so much of 3D is all about telling us what is not possible, what is and isn't. And so, you know, we get herded along, not always along pathways of our own choosing. And with the song, Anything is Possible, singing in your heart, your life will be different. It just will. You won't be so easily hurtable. Okay, so what did I see? It's so silly. Opening one's mouth to try to put words to such things. Okay. I talk about how we need to leave mind behind. I find that when I'm in heart and centered and still, a thought may come up, but as long as I just look at it and then look away and don't pursue it, don't follow it, don't keep my attention on it, as long as I just return my attention back to my center, that's fine. It's harmless. Thoughts are harmless if we don't follow them. The ray of attention needs to be inward directed in order to remain in heart. Now, it's a real letting go. And the more time we abide there, the better we get at this. The subtle changes in our perceptions, in our attitudes, in our whole way of seeing mount up until one day we're really stunned as we realize how different our perspective is on things now. A lot of this is being done for us, frankly. Just with the rising in frequency, you see, our nature is beautiful, divine, and harmless. Our nature is love. And so, left alone, not messed with, it's our nature to rise in love. It's our nature to have a beautiful, peaceful planet. That nature's been covered over and manipulated, and we all know the story, at least some of the story. You know, some of us know more of the story than others, about the darkness and dishonesty and treachery and cruelty that's taken over the world. It's an abuse of power. And I think we have to respect that beings have different paths. I walk the path of love. Some legitimately walk the path of power. Now, I can abuse love. Love can be abused, just as power can be abused. And so there are initiations on the various paths. So it's not that walking the path of power is wrong, but clearly there's a massive abuse of power going on here. That's got to be stopped. And it is stopped. But let me not get off on that. What I had started to say was there's a real shift and transition in consciousness. Not even a transition. You go from being mind-based and anchored in left brain, which most of us are. You begin to approach this even if you just go into your right brain. And the brain is connected to the heart. The heart actually produces neurotransmitters. This is scientifically established. The heart produces brain chemicals. So the heart and the brain are meant to connect. Sometimes I see it like a figure-8 flow between heart and brain. But anyway, I keep going off on tangents. It's different. Being in the head is one thing. Being in the heart is not the same thing. It is qualitatively different. Okay, what it's like is, imagine yourself, the original divine being that you are. Look at your higher dimensional self. Not up there on a cloud, but up there in another dimension with another whole reality. Who knows? Maybe you captain a starship. You know, we have other realities that are also us. And it's funny too, because you've got to multiply this. You've got all of the incarnations that you're living right now. And for each of those incarnations, you're multidimensional. And so you exist on all the dimensions. And so laterally and vertically, there's multiplicity. And all of that's you. I mean, you know, spread out, spread your wings. Come on, flap those wings, at least find them. Okay, so you've got, and if we go way back in time, this is a play here. We're manifesting this creation, this world, and we're incarnating. We're taking on bodies in order to have the experience of what it's like to live with limitation this way. In a world of duality, everything has its ups and downs. And so, you know, maybe the limitation is a down, but oh my God, you know, the awesomeness and the beauty, we're magnifying divine love. That's the potential here. I mean, just imagine to live in a blissful paradise. But anyway, if we go back far enough, we can get back to where we were more identified with the higher divine being than we were with the part in the play. And we were able to walk the earth in balance and not be identified with the part. We can play a part without thinking that we're that. It's not mandatory. It is not necessary to so identify with the character in a play that you lose yourself. And you see, that's what we've done. we actually think the 3D being is the self. But the reality is, in thinking we found the self here, we've lost the self, the greater self. And so it just came to me, it was a tight corollary between being in the divinity, consciously in the divinity and knowing it, and playing a part here without being deeply identified with the part. So we retain the awareness of who and what we are. And then at some point, at some certain point, who knows why, we crossed a border, a boundary into identification. And when we did, we lost conscious contact with the higher self. Now, the contact has always been there. That's the thing. I mean, all of this is just what appears. It just seems to be. That doesn't mean it's what is. And if we can beat back the mind and its arrogance with the 7% thing and say, hey, wait a minute, mind, don't be so cocky and thinking you know everything. First of all, anything is possible. And second of all, you only have access to 7% of yourself. So, you know, you can't make too many grandiose statements from such a platform. And so it's almost like we're getting an opportunity to cross that same bridge back into the divine self. Now, I'm not saying it's the fullness of that, but it's just so similar to that because we're truly stepping into a different world when we step into heart. And one of the ways that helps us make this transition is letting go of identity with 3D. As we continue to remind the self and to recognize more and more, hey, this is my left pinky toe. And we meditate and we ponder on who and what am I really? What about those divine aspects of myself? Living in different dimensions, having a complete life. Everything doesn't center around 3D. Everybody and everything and all the dimensions are not just focused in like we're the entertainment and the TV show here. There are our complete lives and realities, full and complete on these other dimensions. They're not angels sitting on clouds playing harps. That's such a shame that we should have something on earth that would be named after such a divine instrument, so that now every time we think of a harp, there's that deadly thing in there. Oh well, you know, not to be attached, not to let ourselves be manipulated and buffeted around emotionally by things. Well, don't identify. If we're not identified, they don't have anything they can get a grip on. They can't get a hold of you if you're not identified. If they can't put you in fear and get you disconnected from who and what you really are, then you're not manipulable. How's that for a word? Manipulable. It's kind of fun. Words can be fun. So I don't know how well that made it into words. It seemed a lot grander when it came, but maybe. I mean, all we can do here is be or give the reflection of that. It's not the real thing. It's like they say, it's the finger pointing to the moon, and so many are focused on the finger, you know. You tell your dog, go get your toy, and you point to it, and he's just looking at your hand and not getting the point. Okay, I'm proud of it. I'm going to make a little bitty video. For me, it's less than 15 minutes. Good day. Me. And that is, I'm forever engaged, it seems, in sharing how, in order to enter what I call heart, or the Good morning, friends. I'm kind of teary-eyed here in my meditation. It walks us. So it's a little bit iffy turning the camera on at this point, but what the heck. Something just came to now here moment. We need to go in naked. We need to let everything drop from us. Maybe we could even call this heart the meditation. My path or yoga is the yoga of devotion, of love. That's so real to me. It's just how it is. We don't choose a path with our mind. A path chooses us, and it walks us.